The last few months have seen roughly 200 asylum seekers bracing the harsh conditions of the Australian detention centre on Manus Island. Among the asylum seekers, there are 34 children. The makeshift facilities found on the tiny South Pacific island of Papua New Guinea is Australia's answer to offshore processing. The knowledge that children were being detained has sparked controversy.
If we bring them here, we should process them here, and decide as soon as possible whether they're true refugees. If they are, we should let them into the community.
I pity these people that are coming out here, going for all those travels and pretty rough seas, but we can't just let anyone in.
This comes in the wake of Australia introducing the No Advantage Rule, which specifies that asylum seekers, whether detained or offered temporary bridging visas, would have to wait until the claims of refugees who went through legitimate channels are processed.
Australia by boat? There is no advantage.
This could mean years or months for men, women and children detained in offshore processing camps, which is deemed unacceptable by Greens candidate Diane Hiles.
Here we are in a situation of arbitrary detention. And like all immigration detention, it's indefinite, and that in itself induces harms and mental deterioration in the population that's being detained.
Hiles claims that such treatment of children is in direct breach of international humanitarian obligations. Article 22 of the Convention of the Rights of a Child, which falls under international human rights law, stipulates that children seeking a refugee status shall receive appropriate protection and humanitarian assistance, a convention that Australia is party to.
That is quite clear that children should only be detained as a matter of last resort and for the shortest possible time. Here we have it as a matter of first resort and indefinitely.
This, according to Hiles, clearly proves that the necessary checks, balances and independent overviews are not in place on Manus Island. And while the various checks and balances may or may not be negotiated in this time, children are being detained in what many describe as a tropical nightmare, riddled with disease and lack of facilities. A recent UN report of Manus Island has indicated that the conditions of the tiny island detention centre are harsh, humid, inadequate and cramped, conditions that would be considered intolerant for any adult, let alone a child. Millie Stilinovic, Press TV, Sydney.